Fear not, my Oklahoma gang, for though you have been lost in the darkness of YouTube, surrounded by nothing but stupid faces on thumbnails and react content, your days of mourning are now over. For the great Oklahoma Prime has returned unto thee. O glorious day. What was not in its prime, unfortunately, was my old computer. But a little speed bump, but we're back and better than ever, hopefully. Technology and I have had a tumultuous relationship through the years. But so far, smooth sailing. And we got a lot to catch up on. So let's catch up. First things up, can someone please tell the entire Diablo 4 community to shut the fuck up? Every time I see a video about Diablo 4, it's talking about how much it sucks or how awful it is. But the same people that talk about how much it sucks are the same people that bought this game to the tune of $666 million fucking dollars. Okay, so it doesn't suck in any metric according to Blizzard. As a matter of fact, it's a smash hit. And I have a sneaky suspicion if they build expansions for it, they're going to sell like hotcakes. Diablo 4 is a money tree, like Scrooge McDuck diving off the ledge into their big pile of money. That's what Blizzard's doing. One thing about gamers is they are just the most impulsive purchasers. So as long as the community will spend over $500 million, you don't need to change a thing, Blizzard. You're doing great. As a matter of fact, you should make more expansions. You should make more cash shop items. Hell, throw it on mobile and sell it on there too. There's a rule in sales that I heard a long time ago. They paid, then they complain, but they paid. So as long as you've got their money, fine. They get mad on the forums. They downvote you. They get all upset on social media. But you're sitting there with your $666 million, you sexy animal. Just do whatever you want. Don't worry. They'll buy it. And God, if I could put that whole community on mute, I would. The only thing is they could have made a lot more money. Now that's a good argument. But they're not hurting. Even this AI co-pilot shit is smart enough to tell you the fires of hell burn bright. Good job, Blizz. Keep crushing. On to World of Warcraft. First, I want to say whoever made this graphic and they put layoffs here in the skull, never change. That killed me. Just absolutely killed me. Mum's the word on what's coming from Blizzard right here. Supposedly it's a pirate something. We'll just see. I kind of like that they're being hush about it, to be honest. One of the things I hate is all these content creators who get on the PTR and give you a step-by-step guide of everything to get and where to get it. Fuck that. Go in there and check out the new content and be surprised for once. Try it out, and then later on, if you need a guide or something after I've got the hang of it or it's been out for a bit, that's when you go check out the guides and shit. Have some fun. Have some excitement. Okay, you don't need a script for everything you do. It's good for you, and I'm glad to see this change from Blizzard. Excited. I love pirates. I love Sea of Thieves. Any pirate game that I can get my hands on. I go all the way back to Sid Meier's Pirates when it comes to pirates games, so you don't have to get me excited for pirates. I'm always excited. I will say I hope that it's exciting, though, because the content, while it's been very consistent, is really been kind of lackluster in my opinion. I'm still in disgust over the reclamation of Gilneas. I just can't with this story, guys. I'm sorry. There's a lot I love about Warcraft, and as long as I have my random battlegrounds and epic battlegrounds, and I'm thinking about maybe drifting back into the PvE side of things, we'll see. But this story just sucks. And the world that they've built, to me, as someone who came up from the original RTSs, just does not feel like the world of Warcraft. But it's not all about me, and there's people that love it, and everyone has told them Dragonflight's a huge step in the right direction, so keep it going, and that's where we're going. More of the Dragonflight world. Dragon riding worldwide is finally here. To me, this feature should have already been implemented, should have come with the expansion, but here we are now. It is what it is, And for the people that love it, there you have it. Girlfriend dungeons, these are fine. I mean, I guess that these are a great feature that a lot of people seem to really need or want. Well, there you go. I think AI is both exciting and horrifying, but when it comes to video games, I think it could be really cool to enhance, NPCs and worlds, and it just has a lot of cool implications. And then the Azerothian archives, guys, I've been out there, I've seen them. I think this content is really for the people that just don't stop playing WoW, right? They are just gonna play WoW no matter what. And you could call this Azerothian archives, you could call this digging up bones, whatever you want. There are people that are just going to do the next thing no matter what it is. And that's the people that I see out there. I don't think this generates a lot of excitement. I don't think they're that much fun. This is for the people that just don't stop playing WoW. And that's fine. They need something to do, and there it is. And then, of course, the Outland Cup, and we know the future of this. There will be the Northern Cup, and then the Mop Cup, and the Cataclysm Cup, and the cups will continue. And so for those of you who love dragon thrusting through rings, you're going to have about 7,000 more circles to fly through. Just make sure, those of you who love your dragon cups and flying through all your rings, that as soon as you're done with all your achievements, you slide over to Star Fox. You are gonna love it. So the patches have been consistent and the content's been coming, but I think it's been fairly lackluster, is my opinion. And there's obviously going to be some people that like this stuff, so it's there for them. Now remember, we also have Season of PTR Phase 2, but this time they are trying to crack down on it, and we got to give them credit for that. I think it's awesome. Now, I have no idea how they're actually going to enforce all this, but they obviously have a plan, and good on them, because it's just been outright ridiculous, the amount of botting and gold selling going on, and it just ruins the community. And I feel bad for these gaming companies because there's just so many assholes willing to do it. I wish them all the best, and I think it's actually a great thing. Good job, Blizz. Very excited that they're trying to stand up to these assholes that ruin our communities. It's just so frustrating, and I just hate it so much. Like I've said in the past, I think when you develop these games now, you have to do it from the ground up, just understanding that there's a legion of losers that are going to be there ready to ruin your community for their own selfish gain. And it sucks. It kind of goes against the very heart of what an MMO should be and what teamwork and community should be. But as we've seen, those concepts are not held dear to everyone. And so for the Season of Discovery folks, best of luck. I hope they can clean all that up for you, because a few of my buddies that were in there just said it was awful. Just awful, the amount of botting. Also, there's Cataclysm Classic coming out. Remember when that old WoW dev said,
Blizzard is dead. It is a corpse. It is a corpse being puppeteered by Activision and Bobby Kotick. And it's going to be used as basically a factory to put the Blizzard stamp on things and stoke nostalgia to get sales. And that's it. That's it. So stop holding out hope that Blizzard is going to come back. Everyone who founded Blizzard, all the principles that Blizzard was founded on, they're gone or they're dead. No one died. Sorry, the principles are dead.
And while that's a kind of grim outlook, I'll say that I actually think nostalgia seems to be selling pretty well. I mean, Diablo 4 sold just fine. I think there's going to be plenty of people that line up to play some Cataclysm Classic. And remember what I said, the number of ranged survival hunters in here, their arrows will blot out the sun. I have no interest in going back and doing all of this stuff over. I played the shit out of Cataclysm the first time, so I don't really want to do it again. And I mean, I don't understand. Do you just go back and you start farming your T-Mogs again and stuff? I mean, this is when Transmogs came out, right? So I'd have to go re-farm all my Transmogs that I have on my retail character already. I can't do it. I can't do it, guys. And I've already done a lot of Dark Moon, and I already hit the battlegrounds nonstop. So, there's nothing in here for me. But the idea that all you're going to sell is nostalgia being a grim outlook, I think is overly negative. I think nostalgia sells outstanding. And one of the aspects that I don't hear a lot of people talk about when it comes to Warcraft, and when we all have our complaints about the direction or the design or the decisions when it comes to what they're going to address, But one of the things that I will say that ultimately I think makes World of Warcraft have a super positive future, and no matter what they do, is that there's no competition. Yeah, apparently the thing that we're going to need advanced AI for is to make another good MMO. WoW has been $15 a month for 20 years on top of having to buy expansions. That is crazy. What other game that you know of right now that could charge $15 a month and not lose a shit ton of its followers? I mean, it would cripple most games. And here's World of Warcraft 20 years later, just chugging right along. And there's nothing like it. I mean, there's nothing that has the feel, the class design, the beautiful worlds, the fluidity of controls, and on and on and on. WoW is without fucking peer when it comes to MMOs. And before the Final Fantasy kids come in here, please, okay? Please. Just go watch Final Fantasy Dungeons and PvP, and I rest my case. Yes, it's got a good story. Yes, it's got some cool cinematics and whatever. And I'm sure there's areas where it's better than WoW. But overall, WoW kicks ass. And there is nothing on the horizon that can even come close to touching it. I have great hopes for the future of WoW because apparently there's not one other game company out there that is competent enough and has enough creative talent to beat a game that was developed 20 years ago. And it just hasn't happened. I mean, that is a title belt. If I told you there was a heavyweight champion for 20 years, you'd be like, oh my God. Well, here's the heavyweight champion of the MMO world for 20 years. Congratulations, World of Warcraft. You kick ass. And yeah, I'm not happy about a lot of the decisions and the Horde Alliance getting along. And I'd like to take all of this modern WoW and put it back in the actual, what I consider World of Warcraft world. But even for all its faults, it's still a blast. And I have a great time running around here and banging on Hordes. And just going around doing my fishing, flying, seeing the world, listening to the music. Awesome. Awesome. And the good news is while I think we're all kind of getting a little burned out with Dragonflight at this point, we've kind of done it all. We've got the War Within right around the corner. Now, right away, you can see on this roadmap what I call the retail treadmill, where we've got a new PvP season, new Mythic Plus, new raid. Okay, and then you come over here, guess what? New zones. They throw in a few extra things for an expansion, so you get the delves, and we'll see how that plays out. The hero talents, I mean, it wouldn't be a new expansion if they didn't fuck with the talents for the 900 millionth time, so we'll all just have to get used to whatever this is. Some people will love it. I'll probably hate it, but I'll get over it, and it's just going to be what it's going to be. We have the reskinned Bling Dwarves, and then right here you go. Here's the treadmill. New zones, new dungeons, and Mythic Plus, and new raids. These are all for the meter maids. And then you've got the new PvP season, which will just be completely tailored to the cooldown traders. And so this formula is rinse repeat, and you can see it. New PvP season, new Mythic Plus, new open world. You can go back into the last year 2023 roadmap and you're going to see it's very similar. And then we sprinkle in some of this content in between before we hit them with a reset again. And then at every expansion, we'll throw in like a new feature, evergreen something. And that's going to be it. And I'm not saying all this stuff sucks. I mean, the warbands are going to be great for people with alts, I think. If I can just get account-wide reputation, I'm happy with warbands. And then I like the world events to an extent. I mean, at some point, it feels like we're all just running around banging on shit. I wish they'd have the balls to really amp up the difficulty on some of this stuff and make it a little more dynamic. As it is, it feels like you just run around and basically pop loot pinatas until you're done. But you know, it is what it is. And I like being in a world full of other people. And that's nice because retail is usually pretty empty and everywhere but where the new zones are. So we'll see what the world events look like. Again, Dynamic Flight Guild updates and on it goes. Now, I've always said, and this is my only concern with the World of Warcraft, is that while I think all of this will appeal to the Dragonflighters, My biggest thing with World of Warcraft is I don't see it bringing in a bunch of new people. We always hear people talk about World of Warcraft is dead or it's dying, and people roll their eyes. It's like, dude, it's been out for 20 years. There's nothing on the horizon that is even close to competing with it, and it doesn't seem to be dead at all. I just think that's a case where two things are true. I think World of Warcraft has a huge following of people that came up playing the game and they play WoW. I mean, this game just has a bunch of people in it, and I don't even think it's some insignificant part of the population at this point that they just play the shit out of WoW. And they play it on one character and they level another character and another one, and they just play WoW. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. However, my concern is that it could technically be a case where you have your old guard and your cult following, of which I'm a part, but also you're not bringing in a lot of new players, which in that case, WoW would be dying over time if it's not able to bring in new players. I don't think WoW's going to die anytime soon. However, I am concerned that we're not bringing in and exciting a bunch of new players, and that we're not even, to be quite frank with you, I don't even think we bring back a lot of the people that used to play WoW. People can say that that's just what it's going to be and there's nothing you can do about it, but I think our new CEO here is talking about bringing WoW back to its prime. So if you're looking to do that and you're looking to increase your community by a lot, and I mean a lot, not just a little bit, then I think we're going to have to rethink the retail treadmill. And I've tried to, in my content, point out some ways that I think that they could appeal to people and communities that they just haven't reached out to much at all. Like the Battleground community, which I love, which has just been completely abandoned, and just don't get me started. That'll be another video. And interestingly, on this note, I have been looking at the sales for the War Within, and I can't find anything anywhere that talks about this thing selling. I will tell you, the silence is kind of a statement in and of itself. Now, it could be true that this thing is selling to the tune of tens of millions of copies and they're just being quiet about it. Although I think all of us agree that that's very unlikely. I've said I thought this was a terrible direction to go, and I'm either going to live or die on that sword, because I don't think this is going to generate the hype that you're going to need if you're looking to go back into old WoW numbers. I'm not sure that this was the path to do it. And I'm not sure that this treadmill is going to keep working over and over. And do remember that Dragonflight didn't sell that well. And this is where the Dragonflighters come in and they scream retention, retention, retention. And that's true. Dragonflight has retained apparently more players than past expansions. The part that they leave out of that is Dragonflight has received more support than a lot of expansions combined, like I've said in other things. So it is true that they've had a lot of retention. It's also true that this expansion's had a ton of support. But in the end, I think we're just going to have to wait and see how this expansion does. I'm hoping, honestly, I hope it's the best expansion ever, because I want WoW to succeed, because I want it to be around. And it looks like Microsoft is pretty hatchety when it comes to things that aren't producing. And I don't want WoW or the WoW team to get hatcheted like the other guys did. So I want it to be successful. But I will be honest, I have real concerns. Most certainly the Dragonflighters will play it. But if you're looking to greatly increase the size of the community, I'm not sure that this new direction with the Horde Alliance being at peace and the Pretty New Worlds and just in general, I'm not sure that this is going to do it, but I hope that I'm wrong. Time will tell. And I wonder, at some point, do you worry that people that are really into Season of Discovery or kind of more of that classic mode are just going to hard pass on your retail version? I think most of them will at least check it out. In the end, I guess you're getting $15 a month no matter which mode they play. So that's kind of nice that you're appealing to this broad base, but I think it does kind of dilute the communities down. So I think there is some negative to it, although overall, if your number one goal is profit, I think it's probably just a net positive. And so there's your road ahead. Retail remains in its familiar form, where the strengths and weaknesses pretty much stay the same. The Season of Discovery enthusiasts get to enjoy their slow drip classic with a splash of retail. And for those seeking that sweet, sweet hit of nostalgia, you can catch a ride on the spine of Deathwing. Good times for all. Oklahoma out.